So here we are at the Lausitz Euro Speedway in Germany on the launch of the new Honda Civic Type R. Now this is a live stream, so anything can happen. Cal could walk in front of the camera, someone could comically fall down the stairs, but the plan is to give you a little look around the car, talk about the car's history a little bit, and also get a sneak peek of these cars running in anger out on track. So we're in the middle of the circuit at the moment. Some of the chaps just prepping the cars. And we have our whole host of press prepared Honda Civic Type Rs. Now I've had a little drive, I can now tell you a little bit about driving impressions, but of course tune in for the full review later today. We did some de-restricted autobahn, we got the car up to about 153 miles an hour, no problem at all before we hit traffic. It's very stable, very smooth, that engine is an absolute gem, and there will be much more on that later today. But let's talk about this car's ancestry, because of course the FK8 Type R comes from the family tree of the FK2 Type R, a car that we liked a lot and a car that actually is going to become a bit of a collector's item. This is the rarest Type R that they have sold. And of course the black edition run out model even rarer, or white edition in Europe. And yes, it was a car that didn't suffer fools lightly. It was a car that demanded a lot of its driver, and it's a car that definitely split opinion. The FK8 is obviously a strong evolution of this. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how the two compare right now, because we'll talk about that in the video, but as you can see, left and right, there's quite a substantial difference. This is a generational change. We're going from something that's based on the 9th gen car to the 10th generation, and with that comes new toys, new tricks, and a degree of increased comfort. So moving backwards again from FK2, we have the FN2. Now, a lot of hardcore Type R fans are going to dislike me a little bit for this, but the FN2 was arguably a bit of a disappointment. Only 1 horsepower more than its predecessor, and certainly out on track whenever you drive all of the generations of Type R back to back, as we did if you check out our Slovakia Ring video from last year. This car does leave you wanting a bit, which is a shame because it looked fantastic. I loved sort of the Knight Rider style dashboard it's got. I loved a lot of the design work, the thing with triangles, there's triangles everywhere, the spaceship door handles, and I loved the exhaust exits here. They were really awesome. It's just a shame that the package didn't really strike such a chord, and I suppose it was a difficult thing to follow up, in that the EP3 Type R, which is where Type R started for UK buyers officially, was such a high watermark that I suppose that the FN2 had to compete with this, and that was quite difficult. We do have a Fireblade here as well, a couple of journalists running the Fireblade alongside the Type R, which is really cool. Obviously Honda have a very strong and prestigious motorbike history as well as in cars. But yeah, the EP3 was everything that a hot hatch should have been. It ticked all of the boxes whenever you looked at the recipe book. It didn't weigh very much, it handled wonderfully, it had that power of the understatement about it, which arguably its successors have lost over the years. Good or bad is down to a matter of opinion, but it did have that incredibly high revving VTEC motor which just set it apart from the competition. Now if we head inside the garage, see what's going on here. I can hear some cars going about. We might go upstairs in a second and see what we can find. So we've got this little media area at the moment. I am out on track very soon, but let's see whether we can go out into the pit lane and get some of the cars coming across. So here we go, absolutely vast grandstand. I'm afraid I don't know too much of the history of the circuit itself. Maybe some of you guys can tell me in the comments. A lot of the able-bodied Honda PRs. It's the part where I can potentially split my jeans. Right, where are we? So, main straight of the circuit. And I believe the cars will be coming from this direction. So let's go through some specs for the new car just whilst we're waiting and not sitting here doing nothing. Oh no, talk of the devils, here they are. Not exactly slow, are they? There should be a set of red cars running about the place. Let me see if I can get up to this grandstand in a minute and see whether there's a better view. As you can see down here, lots of people. This is the first day of the UK media, or the European media launch, and so everyone's waiting with bated breath to see how these actually handle out on track, because of course the Type R is a very track focused machine. So again, whilst we wait for the car's powered by a 2-litre turbocharged VTEC engine, and of course it produces 316 brake horsepower, or 306 brake horsepower for the American market. 0 to 62 miles per hour in 5.7 seconds and a top speed of 169 miles per hour. We got it up to over 150 very comfortably this morning, as I said, and it felt like on the Autobahn that it could do that all day long. 6-speed manual transmission with rev matching. Here come the trio of red cars. Let's see what we can get with these. I'm just going to take a walk down the pit lane and see whether I can get some action of them diving into that corner. Something interesting that I learned at the briefing the other day: the gear ratios in this transmission are actually 7% shorter than the car's predecessor, which means obviously it's all to do with having the correct ratio at the right time, and for very twisting, winding technical circuits, that'll definitely be of a benefit for those who take it onto a track day. The torsional rigidity is actually also up 38%. Oh, some people were asking yesterday about the seats. Are the bucket seats the same that the US cars are going to get? The answer is yes. So there won't be different seats for different regions, which I suppose is a plus point as long as everybody fits into them. I think I can hear the cars coming back down again here. Oh dear, who's straggling back here? The squeal of those Continental Contact 6 tyres. Now, they're actually wider than this car's predecessor, and something else I noticed today as well, learning a lot seeing the car up close and personal for a lengthy period of time, is that the alloy wheels, previously on the other car, the very low profile tyres and large alloy wheels tend to lead them to be scuffed quite easily by the curbs. That's actually not going to be so much an issue now, because they're now recessed a bit more into the tyre, which is good news for the Honda press fleet, who continuously had to repair alloy wheels when journalists unsuspectedly grinded them against curbs. Not mentioning any names, but I may be one of the guilty ones. Anyway, so here we go, we're turning up. So this track actually has a giant bowl and then an infield section of corners, so we're taking advantage of the long straights to exercise the cars. I don't think we'll quite get it to the top speed up here, there's not quite enough room, but certainly stretch the car's legs. And then there's a ever tightening section of corners that goes down just up here. Crikey, this is a much further walk than I thought it was going to be. So I think we've got cars coming up. If we're quick enough, if we just run down to the bottom here. Excuse the wind noise if there is any. Off they go. Somebody taking quite a wide line there. So, as you can see, car's up and running. I have my go in the not too distant future. I've got to do some more camera work and things with the other cars. But thank you very much for joining me trackside here. We've looked back at some of the history of the car. We've seen some of the cars in action on track, and of course don't forget to tune in for the review later today. That hopefully, I'm hoping to get it up before we get on the plane, but you know, Wi-Fi and data signal prevailing. Let's sign off with these three brilliant sporty blue Type Rs swinging by for the very last time. I'll catch you guys for the full review.